Hi, everyone. It's Karen. It's another, that started out kind of croaky. I'm Karen, and it's another beautiful fall day. Today is Wednesday. No matter what you're watching this, you're right on time. Just trust that what you need is going to come to you at exactly the right time. This is a really short live stream. I have a client today at 10 o'clock, and I had an appointment to meet with a gal, and she, for some reason, wasn't available. So we'll just send her blessings and hope everything's okay. I know she wouldn't have paid and scheduled an appointment and not just showed up for no reason. So I wanted to do a short live stream about reversing disease, when and why it comes back. We're used to the word remission, but if you look up the word remission, you're going to find it's like a cancellation of a debt. It's a forgiveness of your sins. It's a diminution of your symptoms. So we're used to hospital and allopathic speak, but we're not always used to the kind of language and the communication of original medicine. I believe that my grandmother coined that term, but we also use it to speak about indigenous medicine, right? Native American and African and Asian, Ayurvedic. There are forms and practices of medicine that long predate Western allopathic treating and scanning and lots of surgery and replacement of joints, because with these hair tissue mineral analysis that I do, you can find out, as Dr. Watts has originated this lab, Trace Elements, exactly what's going on. So you'll know why you have more joint pain, more aches and pains in general. But why does a person reverse disease? Well, first, they put together a plan. And if I hadn't have worked these plans myself, if I hadn't have seen the efficacy of them, if I hadn't had worked in law I worked in law for nearly 18 years as a senior family law paralegal in a specialist firm like Basso Williams in Santa Cruz. It was considered the top-notch firm, and left there in 2002 on a 4-woman paralegal team. But I got paid to research. I got paid to research for the judges in Santa Cruz County, Judge Kelsey Attic, all of the 7 judges. I had an office there. I also worked for the DA, Alan D. Filippo, and the research attorney, Julie Colura, in Merced County, where I lived for a year. I was looking for, where can I be a mother and have an affordable cost of living? Cost of living is an artificial index. It's not real. And it puts pressure on people, and that kind of pressure creates enormous stress, and stress creates lack of ease. Lack of ease is what we see today as disease. It always first starts in mind. Our thoughts. It's too much pressure to be under a cost of living. And as I'm going to get into here in just a moment, I've helped clients to be able to reverse lupus. I've got testimonials, myasthenia gravis. These are autoimmune, meaning that the body is now, in the doctor's language and allopathic language, not mine, attacking itself. Well, the body wouldn't attack itself for no good reason. It does that because it's under stress, toxic thinking, pressure, food chemicals and food drugs, and because the trace elements, like I showed you in one of these reports that we can do, are off balance. Once you have imbibed or absorbed toxic elements like lead and arsenic, uranium, cadmium from smoking cigarettes and living near smelting plants, mercury from living in California like I did around gold mining, that was long ago, but mercury was used to extrapolate the gold so that people could get that. Now, an ambulance just went by and my dogs are howling, so that's what you hear in the background. So I successfully helped people over many decades after I learned how to heal myself. I started with intuition as a child, learning how to become a sensory organ again. Because when you go to school, you learn how to be a logical, I'm in reality, everything needs to be factual, it needs to be tangible, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be science. Science is great. It's given us a lot. It really has. I appreciate it and I respect it, but it's not everything. Meaning that The intangible, that which you cannot touch or measure, is equally as important. And I'm very thankful because starting in 1965, I was very fortunate to have a grandmother who said, this is equally important. And don't you dare cause yourself to become habituated, addicted, or dependent upon the use of singularly treating yourself with drugs disguised as medications. The word medicine is in the word medication, but it's not in fact a medicine. It is in fact a treatment. Okay. The majority of the time, 99% of the time, it is a treatment and not a medicine. So reversing lupus was a systematic plan, meaning I needed to hear the thoughts. That's mind, body, medicine. Nothing's spooky about that. It means that as she was telling me things, and many clients who had lupus, I was writing down some of the words that they used that really stuck out to someone who would understand or overstand mind, body, medicine. So going on to a clarifying diet, perhaps even depending on the severity and the will of the client and the drive of the client and the motivation, I might need to also take that person into the catabolic phase of detoxification. When you become a detoxification expert, meaning 35 years now, right? Starting with Pamela Masters in 1984 and 85 with Raw Foods for Reversing Cancer and her course that I paid for, you start to learn that the body first lets go of a lot of mucus. You go in the shower and there's kind of clear mucus coming out of your nostrils, and that's our everyday detox. But when now the body is systemically clogged and you've gone into more of a major condition, a major lack of ease, what the doctors call dis-ease, right? Then you've got to have more of a plan. So this is where I want, and I'm going to cover up this person's name, okay? This is my copy of a patient report giving the toxic elements, the nutritional elements, all of the other elements that are, lesser important. And because Dr. Sebi and Arnold Ehret and Hilton Hotema, and I could just keep going, we all knew that less did we think about the alphabet game, the vitamins A, B, C, and all of us taking the one-a-day hard compressed capsule. It didn't do anything for us. Vitamins have never empirically been proven to do anything for you, although I love vitamin C and I use it all the time, but I use a food base. So we healed, meaning I don't heal people. I guide people so they can heal themselves. I'm a highly experienced guide. You would be too after 35 years plus a childhood of learning from the grandmothers, okay? I carry something as a sacred chalice as a powerful woman, elder at 58 now, an elder to many, maybe not to all, that brings the awareness of, yes, you can heal yourself. Yes, you're going to need to keep your willpower up. And so with coaching, I have found that it's almost mandatory for people to be able to meet once a week, not because you want to milk them and charge them, but because people tend to fall off the wagon because of the food drugs out there. So here's what happens. We get 85 or 100% into reversing all the symptoms, which is not the name game of remission. It is reversing disease because we are not allowed legally, meaning medicine people like myself, which are very few left in the world. We're not allowed to even use the word because of the legal pressure and constraint. I can't use the word cure. Yet if you look up the word cure in the dictionary, it means to remove the symptoms. So people became sick again with lupus, with myasthenia gravis, with cancer, with a big tumor in her uterus, with whatever it was. And I helped all of those situations, meaning I was the guide and they healed themselves through the process of working the plan when they deviated from the plan. So when, again, they started eating factory farm chicken and, drinking alcohol again and doing these things, their body developed the same thoughts, the same loops, the same patterns of behaviors and predictable responses to things. And again, they became lack of ease. Okay. And I watched it every time. I would see posts on their page about, oh, I know what I was missing. I ate a whole half a chicken, or I went into this really expensive retreat and I was eating brown rice and veggies. Well, brown rice and veggies aren't going to heal you because brown rice is a straight starch. Dr. Sebi told you that. Hilton Hotema told you that it's going to produce a lot of mucus in the body. So I'm going to see what you've got here. Hey, Karen, going over my notes. Oh, good to see you. Hey, Melody. I just had a moment because actually I've got to go to the shop right now. But this is why people end up going back into their disease is precisely because they went back into their old habits. And so a coach is not a one-time coach. It might be for you, and that might be what you can afford. And for that reason, I make package deals so that people can do a 6-pack. Say right now my package deal is a 6-pack, a half hours for $500. So that can take you through 6 weeks where you have a half an hour once a week where you check in with someone and you've got your questions saved up. One thing about me as a business, and I'm not a hobby, I'm not a woman who's got a husband with a paycheck and I just kind of dabble in this. This has been my entire life. When I worked in law, I took that money, thousands, tens of thousands, and became an herbalist, became a massage therapist. These certifications cost thousands of dollars. And so now I just cannot afford to stop what I'm doing and answer, 50 people's one. I just have one question. I don't want to book a session. I just have one question. Well, a lot of other health coaches, and I'm very different from your modern health coach. If you went to, integrated nutrition or one of these programs are teaching people very parallel to allopathic medicine so that they stop with, you can have a turkey sandwich and egg whites or keto diet. And then over there, then you go into the doctor's office, and it's very parallel to the American Medical Association and allopathy. Okay. So we're very different. I'm not like most coaches. I'm very much self-taught, and it's an amalgamation of trainings and teachers and working with people for 35 years. So, it's important that if you want to keep going towards reversing disease, that you work a plan and that you realize that you are going to need to change your diet. You are going to need to detox. I have 4 steps. One is gathering, which means I need to hear what's going on with your thoughts. I need to stabilize, meaning that usually many of us have drama, stress, trauma underneath. Many times we don't even know about the trauma. We do the detoxification, and number 4 is regeneration. So it's not difficult. It really isn't, but it means that you are the most proactive piece in your own health. You become your own physician. And once you do a coaching plan and you do the hair tissue testing and you find out what's unique about you, just like Melody, Melody, I know that when you review your patient report, because that's what you get from an official EPA approved lab that's been doing these for 35 years. They do about 400 of them on any given day. And it is a precise instrument of measurement that is quoted by PubMed. So if you go and you read Quack Watch and you go, oh, this is a bunch of junk, go over to PubMed, where the doctors are looking for empirical citations about medical research and find out that you cannot get a better index on zinc level testing than doing hair tissue mineral analysis. Different than hair follicle testing to check for drugs. This is hair tissue mineral analysis, where we run a whole gamut of testing for a low price. It's painless, and it's on sale on my website. The package, because you need the package, you need the test and the consult so that I can review it with you and give you some recommendations, meaning maybe you need zinc to balance out your copper, because too much copper will make you feel like you're crazy, like you're nuts, like you're unbalanced, like your emotions are all over the place. So these are very simple things to do, that instead of immediately running to get medicated, if it's not an emergency, if you've gone to your doctor and they're like, hey, sure, work a plan and figure out what's best for you. And, I have to say that by law. I can't say, hey, I'm the one you should come to. I have to say, make sure your doctor says it's okay first, and so that's what I'm going to say, especially with the legal background. So I'm going to go off and meet my next client, and I wonder what you're going to do today. Drop me a little line down below and say, this is what I'm doing. And Melody, would love to hear about what you think about your patient report. I'm so thankful that you did that, because I can see really crystal clear ways where I'm going to be able to help you, just like I helped myself. I brought my copper down from a 4.3 to a 3.0 in the course of about a year, probably less than that. but I retested a profile number 3. You do the profile number 2. So for $149.99, you get the test and a 30-minute consult through the end of September. Okay? All right, have a great day, and I am off to go help another client. It's what I love to do.